friends, everybody out there around the world. Welcome back to Figure It Out podcast, where we go through the winding river of life. The same water you seen yesterday is not the same water you're going to see tomorrow. Just keep that in mind. Stay in your banks. On today's episode, we have a very special guest, Miss Veronica. Mama Tish, please enlighten us.
Yes, friends, we have the gorgeous Veronica Brito. She is the Chief of Adult Programming at the Free Library of Philadelphia. Now, to give a little background to Miss Veronica, she is an experienced public library administrator based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Her work is focused on making a significant impact to the citizens of Philadelphia through education, literacy, community engagement, and library staff support. She applies her 18 plus years of professional experience in project management via creative problem solving and innovative thinking. Veronica is an active member of her faith community and serves on the governing council. She also serves as a board member of Bear Creek Camp, located in Wilkesboro, PA, and Philly Camp, a people powered media residing in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In her personal time, Veronica enjoys international travel, writing, mentoring teens and young adults, attending film festivals, live stream, and amateur video production. One of her greatest joys is spending quality time with family and friends. Well, that, if I don't say so myself, is a very well rounded individual.
I
So,
would, I would definitely say so yourself. Like she sounds awesome. I can't wait to meet her. Oh, I see her now. I can't wait. I can't wait again. I can't wait. I can't wait.
So again, thank you for coming and joining us. I can't wait to dive into more so talk about your journey. I didn't know, knowing I know you slightly personally, I didn't know you had 18 years of experience in the library. So can you tell us a little bit about that, where you started and how you got to where you are now?
Well, growing up, I always liked libraries. There was a very small library in my school, in Mount Airy, and I just loved going in there and just looking at all the different titles and things. And we didn't have a librarian. We just had a teacher who kind of just went in there with us and let us explore the shelves and things. And I always loved, if you guys remember, Scholastic book fairs. They still
Yes,
have them.
they do.
But, getting that crisp $10, $20 bill and going in there and just going crazy, picking the titles or looking on a little sheet and circling which titles you enjoyed. I really enjoyed reading Choose Your Own Adventure. I loved Sweet Valley Twins and Sweet Valley High, and just some other books, Judy Blume books. And so I love reading. I would find myself reading a lot as a young person. And there weren't a lot of kids on my block, so the ones that were, we played all summer, but then I would come inside and I would read. When the street lights come on, you got to go inside.
Not the street lights. Oh man,
so there's nothing to do, and limited TV channels back in the 80s and
Yes.
90s. So I took up reading and I really enjoyed the imagination and the play and the places you could go and things you can learn. My uncle had an encyclopedia set, and I would just pick a random letter and start reading randomly. So, and he also was an aspiring MC, so he had a rhyming dictionary. And I would sneak into his room when he wasn't home, because I was raised by my grandparents. So I was sneaking into my uncle's room. He's only about 9 years older than me, and so he was a teenager. I was a little kid. I would sneak in his room and I would get his rhyming dictionary, and I would just read and read and read, and I'd be like, I wonder what these words mean. They would rhyme with each other, but I didn't know what they all meant. So that was a way that I really developed my love of reading and my love of words and just literature. And so, but I never knew what I wanted to do until I was a teen, and I went to this video production camp, and it was called Evergreen Youth Television, and it was in Seattle, Washington. And
Oh,
there I learned how to express myself through video production, editing, writing, developing these short documentary style, commercial style videos. And so then I said, well, I'm going to go into video and I'm going to direct and I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to be a cinematographer. And most people didn't even know what that word was, but I found out and I said, that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be like that. So when I went to college, I did take, media communications, and I even interned at Fox 29, which is the Philadelphia
really?
Fox. Yeah,
Nice.
I was only a sophomore. Everyone else was a senior. And I was like, and they were looking at me like, how'd you get here? But there was one thing that I did learn from my experience at Fox 29, and it was that I did not want to go into television news.
Mm.
I
Okay.
found it to be too competitive, at times cutthroat, and kind of seeing behind the scenes. It just
Okay.
turned me off from it. So I said, no, that's not for me. And I tried a couple other things, and I got my degree from Penn State in
Woo woo.
communications. I stayed in
Oh,
communications.
you're one of
Yes,
us. We love you
yes,
even more now.
yes. Admit me lying here. And I kind of wandered about and I was like, what do communication majors do? I know a lot of communication majors think that when they graduate, like, okay, what's my next step? And
Right.
so I just kind of wandered around. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I came to work part-time in a library. I was one of those people, where you walk in a place and you say, this would be nice to work in. And you just ask someone who works there, you and most of the time they'd be like, no, or go online, fill this paper out. This was one time when the person looked right into my eyes and was like, yes, we are hiring. Do you have a resume with you? And I was like, I was just asking. So I went home and like freshened up my resume, brought it back. And so I got here part-time at a little library in Lamont, Pennsylvania, which is in Cheltenham Township. The
Okay.
library is probably as big as your living room. It's so tiny. But when I was there, I learned a lot about collection development. That means they get, because it's a suburban library, there are no unions. It's just whoever does whatever. And
Oh.
they said, here's $500, get some books for the children's section. I said, what? And I was like, okay. And I just like looked at the New York Best Times. I looked at what other libraries had on their shelves. I went to the American Library Association, looked at their list of best books, and I purchased the books and put them on a shelf. And I really felt proud of myself because I was like, look at this, is kids going to take these out? And I made sure to get diverse books.
Okay.
I got books that will appeal to children who look like me, who spoke other languages, and that just wasn't there on those shelves at that time, even though Lamont is a primarily African American community nestled in Cheltenham Township. So it's historically Black, actually. And so I did that. And then they said, well, yo, you were doing so good at that. Can you do a story time? And I said, what's that? I said,
Oh.
you just pick whatever and just read it, right? And I learned quickly that librarians put a lot of time into story times
Okay.
because they pick a theme, then they pick what sort of books they're going to read that relate to the theme. They have to be based on the age group that you're reading to. Also, are these books factual? And then finally, are they diverse? And then the books you bring together within that time period of 45 minutes or less, depending on the age, you weave in songs, you weave in finger
Oh,
plays,
okay.
you weave in puppets, you weave in activities that the kids can do. And so all of that. And I kind of just learned it on a whim, a wing and a prayer, as they say, because I didn't know. I hadn't been trained as a librarian.
Right.
And
Okay.
so all of that, I stayed there about 2 years, working there part-time and then working at my church part-time in youth ministry, helping with the summer day camp, not summer school, summer day camp, helping with youth ministry, taking kids really around the world. We went on a trip to Costa Rica. So just doing both of the things that I really like to do, work with youth and then also work in the library. I was made aware of a program that the Free Library of Philadelphia had that was called the trainee program. And the trainee program, my friend Valerie had went through it. It's a 2-year program where most people don't know, but librarians in Philadelphia and most major metropolitan areas need a master's degree in information science and library science.
Did not
I
know
did
Usually
that.
not
called
know that.
library. It's usually called library and information science, or it's called information science, or it's called library science. Some form of those three things.
Oh,
But
wow.
these master's degrees are offered all over the United States, in fact, all over the world. And most librarians around the world will have that master's degree, which means they have a bachelor's degree in whatever subject they dream of, and then they can get their master's degree in library science. And the master's degree in library science teaches you why it's important, the literacy components of a story time. They teach you why things are categorized like they are for Dewey Decimal, Library of Congress, most universities, why things are categorized in the way they are, and how to do it. They teach you how to do collection development, how to verify sources, primary sources. They teach you how to do special collections and rare books and how to deal with those, how to restore them, how to keep them safe for posterity. And they just show you all the different aspects, including management of a library. Because you would think, okay, you have a library, you just have people put the books back. No, it's a whole thing. It's a management.
Oh, okay.
So you learn that as well, how to work with people, how to manage people, different aspects of human resources and things like that. How to develop a budget, how to work with friends groups and trustees. So you learn all of those things in the master's program. And that is something that you get as a trainee for the Free Library. So with a scholarship from the Institute of Museum and Library Service, out of our federal government, thanks to your tax dollars, I was able to get a full ride to Clarion University, which is in Clarion, Pennsylvania. And I got my master's in library and information science.
Wow.
And then once I got that, then I was hired to the Free Library as a children's librarian. And I've worked in many branches since then. And it's just
Okay.
been a wild ride.
Right. Well, I'm sure with all the years you've been with the Philadelphia library. So is it okay if we ask where are you stationed now?
Yes, I've recently taken a promotion. So I am as you mentioned earlier, the chief of adult programs and services with the Free Library. And that is in the division of communications and engagement.
Okay. So do you work at I say you work out of the main library?
Yes, I work out of the main library at 19th and Vine on Ben Franklin Parkway.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
Even though I've
Nice.
worked in about, I say 10 to 15 different branches. Previously, before this promotion, I was the interim chief of neighborhood libraries. And so I was responsible for 49 branches and 3 regionals. So that was a very interesting term. It was a 1-year term. And so I
Okay.
was glad to pitch in and help where I could.
Oh, that's amazing. So is there any move up from the position you're in now?
Well, the position I am in now is I report to the deputy director of communications. And so you have the deputy director of communications, and then you have the director.
Okay.
So
Third,
Do
that's
you
it.
aspire?
wow.
Do
That's
you
just 2
aspire to
more
be any of
levels.
those?
Well, when you think about it, a lot of people in my field, to be a director of a library, you have to be able to travel.
Okay.
I don't really know of anyone who worked their way up from librarian to director in the same library. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule, but most librarians know if you want to become a library director, then there's going to be some movement. So you would have to be free to move wherever in the country. Libraries, libraries are looking for directors all the time. It's very competitive. They want someone who can inspire the staff. They want someone who's creative. They want someone who can work with boards and with local government officials. And they want someone who can be a true leader and take the library to the next level. And so we have a really good director right now, Kelly Richards, and he has worked hard with the mayor and with city council, also with the board of directors and the board of trustees, to try to get the library to be more efficient and also to create a culture of care in the library amongst the employees. So I really look to him as he has inspired me in what I do. And if I were to ever be a director of a library, I would, look to him to see how he has done it. He came out of Michigan, where he was the director of a system of libraries in Michigan. And he just started here less than 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago. So it's been a really good journey. But they're always hiring directors everywhere from like LA County Library to Queens Public Library. All different places have natural cycles of directors that are there. And when they move on, they need a new director. So they're always looking for new and fresh leadership. I just got the job I'm in last month. So I'm not looking to move or take a directorship anytime soon.
Okay. All right. No problem. Just figured since you've kind of been going through the ranks of the library, figured maybe you'd want another step to
Well, I just
achieve.
got a step.
Well, I mean,
I just got a step. I have colleagues who've gone on. I have 3 colleagues I can think of right now in the last year or two who have gone on and become directors of other library systems here in Pennsylvania. So there's a lot of movement going on, but I just love Philadelphia.
Right.
I mean, some of them I could drive to every day, so I wouldn't have to move. But I just love Philadelphia. I love the citizens of Philadelphia. As a lifelong Philadelphian, I feel it's my calling to help lift Philadelphia out of poverty and to give people hope and to make Philadelphia a better place to live, to draw people to live here, as we've been losing a lot of population over the years. And so we just want to make Philadelphia, technologically sound. We want to be a tech hub. We want to be a medical hub, a transportation hub where people will want to come to live, to raise their children, to make the city a better place. And now is the best time to do that with so much going on in our city. We need to be uplifted. And I feel the library is the perfect partner for any organization to help lift my fellow citizens.
And it's funny.
That's awesome. Miss Veronica, I want to say I appreciate what you do, because so many times people, they get their degrees and they go into better things and they leave where they came from. Like they take all their expertise, all their knowledge, and go help another community somewhere that, I'm not saying that that community doesn't need it, but like your roots are here. So I appreciate that, because like I said, I'm a product of Philadelphia too. And like I give back. I'm in local politics. I work with city council all the time. It's great. It's awesome. So the fact that you're here, I want to congratulate you for that. Thank you for staying local. And you actually opened my eyes to a lot of things, because like everybody thinks that like the librarian is like, oh, like she's just a librarian. It's like, it's so like you just explained so much depth in that whole system of like what it actually being a librarian, like that you even had to like have a master's to even do that. Because like the extent of my knowledge is the Dewey Decimal System that I learned when I was like in 1st or 2nd grade. And like I can't really recall everything, but like it's just amazing to me. And then like I think everybody's first love is the library. I used to have my little card. I used to go like the Scholastic Book Fair, getting Clifford the Big Red Dog, all the Dr. Seuss books, and like all the Million Billion collection. It's so crazy, like going through and like listening and seeing. But like people like we have to get back to that because like me and Tish, we say all the time that people are actually lacking the reading aspect or the reading element in everything they do, like basically to gain knowledge. So the fact that you're like in that field and can like give us some like enlightenment there, like this is great. We're gonna have a couple of questions for you going forward, but I'm gonna let you guys continue the interview. This is actually great though, but I'm psyched and I'm excited because like I'm all for reading. People need to read because like once reading goes, knowledge goes with it, and so does their lack of common sense. So I mean, listen, I'm all for it. Let's get back into it. All right, my bad. Sorry. Sidebar
No,
over.
it's okay. I was just going to say, more so ask, you mentioned that the library is trying to get more tech, and on a previous episode, Andrew and I spoke on the library and the technological aspect of it. So can you speak to what has the Philadelphia Public Library done as far as technology, because you know that's ever changing?
Sure. So the free library, when you have a library card, it just unlocks a world for you. When I used to do class visits, get kids ready for summer reading, or when I would visit in the fall or visit back to school nights, I would explain having a library card is like having a key. And there's so many things you can unlock. The misconception that the library, like this one, right, is an old dusty place that only has paper books and the paper is all crumbly and there's a mean lady behind the desk, and those misconceptions need to die.
Right.
And so I'm here, and part of my mission is to inform people that the library card unlocks so many things. Digital wise, not only can you use your library card to get a book or a CD or an instrument or a cake pan or a birthday backpack or binoculars.
Serious?
Or a jump rope or a blood pressure machine, or I could keep going on that one. But
oh my goodness,
the physical thing,
like a credit card to me.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Electric guitar with an amp. So not only can you use your library card to get physical things, but you can use your library card as a key to all of the electronic and digital items that the library holds. What I say is the library is free. It's the free library. And I can tell you why it's called the free library if you want to know, but
we do.
The
I do want to know why it's called it, because like that's in the title, the free library.
Yes, and people say, well, why? Aren't all libraries free? And I said, well, actually, no.
No. Wow. Okay, I'm learning.
Yes. But with your library card, it also unlocks our website, which is the doorway to get to all of the databases and things you can research. Did you know with your library card, you can get a free account on Ancestry.com? Do you know how much that costs every year?
Yeah. Oh,
and you can use your library card
right now. That's
you can use your library card, and all it does is say, what's your library card number? Okay, you can get in. That's it.
What?
Did you know with your library card, if you have a kid and they're like, I need to take my SATs, I don't want to take no class, I don't have time. You say, well, we have several test, practice SAT sessions. You log in with your library card and you can take a test. And not only is it timed, but at the end of the time, it will tell you what you got wrong and why.
No way.
And
friends, are y'all listening to this?
Yes.
Friends, are you guys listening?
Yes. And if you have
information,
you can click on the link and it will teach you what you need to know to get that question right the next time.
Wow.
Not just for SATs, MCATs, okay? GEDs, okay?
What?
Where was it? Wait. So I went to Central High School. I didn't know none of this at Central. That's supposed to be the best
I
high school in
know.
Philadelphia.
Civil
is
civil
crazy.
service test, military test.
Oh man,
Stop.
That military test, that ACA, what is it? ACAAB?
the HVAC
Something like that.
test. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's on there too.
Oh wow.
It
What?
times you. You take the test. It shows you what you did wrong and what you need to study. Then
Make
you
sure
can
my
take a different sample test with the questions all mixed up again and say, "Oh, I still need to study that."
I got to make sure my
Oh my
library card is
goodness.
up to date and valid.
Right. Like
Yes.
the one thing I will say that I did know about the library, that I learned from a librarian, was the homework help.
Mm.
And I use that tool. You can get live homework help for your child, no matter what grade, on going through the the library website. I'm sorry, I'm just like really baffled and trying to talk at the same time. But that homework help comes in handy, because to have someone to physically hear and write out the problem and explain to you how to get that answer is crucial for young children when doing any type of math or English. But to tell me that you can take practice tests of the GED and all those things, where, why? Okay, so can you tell me, why do you think most people don't know this?
I think the library has the money we get from the city of Philadelphia, from the state, from the federal government, we pour into these resources for you. We ask what people need, and we pour almost every single penny into this collection of things, collection of resources, and it's just not a lot left for advertising.
Mm.
Okay.
And so you have, Amazon, everybody knows Amazon, right?
Right.
You see the trucks rolling by, they pop up when you're searching for something on Google. They are on the news every night. Oh, the Amazon truck is using less gas. That's not news. However, they make themselves known. And
Right.
that's how, people refer it to each other when they talk about it. They say, "Oh, well, did you try Amazon? Because I got mine in 2 days on Amazon."
Right.
Amazon. People can't stop saying it, right?
Right.
So, in the
Hey,
same way, we need to build up this fervor for the free library.
library. Exactly.
Yes.
And we have a new director of communications and engagement. And so hopefully we'll be able to have marketing campaigns that will help to highlight some of the resources and programs that we have at the library. Even, use of the ebooks and the apps.
Right.
As far as the apps you can add to your phone for free, you punch in your library card and you can take whatever courses you want to take. We have Mango Languages is free. You can get to an upper intermediate level of over like 20-30 languages you can learn for free with
Bye bye,
Mango
That's a learning
Languages.
Rosendo.
software?
Bye bye,
Yes,
Babel.
yes, and it's its own app, and it'll say, "What library are you at?" And you just punch in your zip code,
No.
and then
Wow.
you can just use the information. Another one is the Libby app, Libby, and
Yeah.
that's our ebooks, comic books, audio books,
Wow.
and you could take out a number of them every month, and you can listen. And it's a great way to introduce books to children who don't have the literacy skills to read on their level or above their level, but they can still experience a book. So say this summer, the kid is like, I don't like reading because it's too hard. Da, da, da. Well, you say, well, let's try a book that is uh at your grade level, but maybe you were afraid to read, but you really want to experience the book because all your friends are reading it and they're talking about it. And then they say, well, how am I going to do that? And you say, well, it's called an audio book.
Mm.
And with your
Mm.
library card, little one, you can go in and you can download the book, and it will give you 3 weeks to listen to the book. Everything from Amelia Bedelia to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, to Harry Potter. And you can just download it to your phone or whatever. And you can, when you go on a road trip with the kids in the summer, you can listen to a book together in the car. And you can also get movies and music and all kind of other stuff with your library card. But those are just some of the highlights that I thought I would share with you all. And then if you come down, there's one last thing you could do with your library card. If you come down to the Business Resource and Innovation Center, which we call the BRIC, down in Parkway Central Library, you can use your library card to access a specific computer. Now, we can only afford to put these databases on one physical computer. Databases are $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year. And we can only put it on one computer. But guess what it's for? I need a grant to start a business.
Stop it.
I need to research if I can open a bowling alley in Holmesburg. I need to know how I can get a scholarship to go back to school for free. All of those things are down there. And with your library card, you unlock it. They give you 2 hours. And they have a librarian there to say, well, what kind of business do you want to open?
All these resources. Friends, y'all hear about all these resources that afforded to you?
Yes.
I feel, Andrew, I feel like we need to collab with the library.
Go down there. How to start a podcast. How to get the first part. So actually, Miss Veronica, real quick.
I don't even need that. I just need people to get a library card.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like the card.
Forget all of that. Like just get a library
we encourage
card.
the voting. We need to encourage you voting and to get your library card. Because here's the thing, too. Like a lot of adults, they think it's not for them. It's only my kids have a library card. Only little kids have a library card. But like this, from what you're saying, like this, I think adults get more resources and benefits from having a library card. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Yes. Unfortunately, it's a hidden secret, but if you live, work, or pay taxes, or any of those things, you can live and not pay taxes. You could go to school. You can be a student. If you have some sort of connection to Philadelphia, or if you live in Pennsylvania, you can get a free library card. It's very easy. We even have digital library cards. You go on the website and you can get it in 30 seconds.
Wow.
You don't have to come in.
Anything.
We're going to need you to put that website, that URL out there so we can.
We will. We definitely will.
Mm-hmm.
We need to come up with like an initiative. Like so many people get a library card.
Miss Veronica, though. Actually, Miss Veronica, all throughout the city right now, like a lot of the police districts are doing National Night Out, where they're blocking off the street to their district. And I know, like me, I'm in the 35th up here, and like our community relations officer, like he would love to like have the knowledge or something like that to get you guys out there, set you guys up at the table, and have like a resource for when we do those events. And we have like a couple of block parties. Like right now, like the sheriff had Ugans blocked off next to Mount Airy Church of God yesterday from like 10 in the morning to 8 at night, and like they have resource centers from like all the departments. And as a matter of fact, I didn't see the library there, so this is a good we have to let the director know that like these are resources too, that like to get engaged with the community, that they all can benefit from, as well as city council. They're all coming up for re-election, and they all go out there and like to do events and stuff like that. So this is a good help me help you help you help me.
Right.
Yes. And we are at some national night outs.
Okay.
I think we were in a 21st district, I think.
Okay.
So we just need to know, and that is a part of my new job to, get these things down, get a database going, and get the employees.
I got you covered in the whole Northwest. I got you covered.
Okay.
I got the 5th district, the 35th, the 2nd, the 14th.
And I know the 35th, I do get emails from them, and librarians at the Oak Lane branch have been attending some of the events, and also they push in their e-newsletter some events that are going on at the Oak Lane branch. So I do know that they are involved with the community officer there. Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right, that's us. That's up here near me. So good. So we're doing our job. Good. But I didn't know about so I'm not doing a good enough job, because I got to put that out there for my whole block. I'm a block captain too, so I got to put that out there.
I feel like
make sure everybody gets a library card. That's the key to the city.
I feel we now have to, any guest that we get that's from Philadelphia, we're like, our line of questioning. Do you have a
Do
library
you have a
card?
library card?
First question.
Because if not, after this episode, we're going to sign you up.
Yeah.
No, she's right though, because like the resources that, like she said you can get. How many people we asked they want to know how to start a business or to get a grant to fund this program for this kids over here or for these people over here down in Kensington? Like she's giving you the key to the city right now.
Or
Fran, she's giving y'all the key.
The fact that I didn't know this in all my years, I didn't know you could rent an instrument from the library. Like there are so many children that want to participate in their school, but the families can't afford the cost of an instrument. But if you had a library card, you could. And it's at no cost to you. Like absolutely mind blowing.
And
like,
to even figure out if the child wants to do it. You're like, I don't want to buy this $200 violin if you don't like it. So let's go borrow one from the library and you can kind of get a feel of it and feel how it works. And you say, well, do you think you want to learn more about the violin? Then they say yes. You say, yeah, I'll buy one then. But I'm just cold calling. No. So yeah, we've had musicians come and use the instruments and play them in the library, you know, sort of a jam session that they've used the instruments there to just do things. We have keyboards and amps and, like I said, electric and guitars, all sorts of stuff, drums, djembes, all kind of stuff. So
wow,
yeah,
that's awesome.
That's at the Parkway Central Library.
Okay. That's awesome. That's great news. You know, definitely need to get that out there to people. Let them know that the library is more than just books, obviously. Definitely. So now how have you in your years of working at the library tied your interest in the youth with the library?
Well, I worked as a children's librarian for many years. I would say about 8 or 9 years, I worked as a children's librarian where I worked with kids and teens. And then we would have, the library has an after school program called LEAP. I think it's Learn, Engage, and Play. I think. So the library, the LEAP program is at every library during the school year. And we employ an adult who's the after school leader. And they usually have at least 2 years of college and some sort of education background. And then we employ 2 to 3 teens. They're called teen leadership assistants. And so they earn, I think, $11, $12 an hour. And they only work in the after school hours, so from like 3 to 6. And those teens also get mentoring. We teach them everything from how to make a resume for yourself. We coach them on how to work with kids, how to mentor kids, how to help with homework. A lot of teens say, well, I don't know how to help with homework. No, it's a teaching thing. It's not
I thought I covered homework until they changed it. They changed 4th grade math. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, they changed the math. And so even some teens don't know how they just changed it again. And they're like, oh, that's not how I did it. And it's like, oh, no. So we pretty much have to teach them how to teach, how to not get frustrated, how to not just do it for them. And so the teens are learning, they're being mentored, and they're also being taught leadership skills. And so I'm glad to support our teens in that way, for employment and also for skills that they'll need in their high school and beyond. And so that's how I try to
real quick. I don't want to tell none of our ages here, but do anybody remember when we would read the books and after you got to like book number 10, they would give you like the free the Pizza Hut, the personal pan pizza for reading your 10 books and you get to punch your card.
Yeah.
Listen, we need to
Pizza
bring
Hut.
that back.
Well, you
I
gotta
don't
talk
know
to
how
Pizza Hut. That was the Pizza Hut Book It program,
Yo,
Yes.
that was a great
and they would have it in the
program.
summer. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so we, the last remnants of that, we also would team up, and then Barnes and Noble also had a thing where if you
Oh,
read
did
so
they?
many books, you would get a free book you could keep
Okay.
from the store. And then other places have, summer reading things, and the library, our summer reading just ended last Friday, but
Okay.
we have thousands of kids across the city who participate in that 8-week program, and they're able to earn everything from little fun toys and things like that to gift cards. The teens earn gift cards,
Okay.
and just stuff teens like
Stuff teens like.
money.
You're right. Or
So,
electronics.
yeah, electronics and things like that. So, I think that my work with youth outside of the library, very much helped me to mold what I do or what I did with youth in the library and vice versa. And so
Nice.
right now we're planning next summer is going to be a youth gathering for some of the youth that are in my denomination, Lutheran. And so they're going to have a national gathering in New Orleans. And
Okay.
usually this gathering brings about between 30 and 35,000 teens.
Wow.
And their chaperones. And so, we just met this past Saturday to talk to the teens about going to New Orleans, about being part of a group, about respecting each other, and respecting each other's, and things are so new now. When you introduce yourself, I'm like, you guys gotta introduce your name and your pronouns, okay? Because we want to respect each other. We don't want to make anyone feel not welcome in the church or in the library. In fact, in the library, we have little pins you can put on with your pronouns on it, so people
Oh,
know
wow.
how to address you, and things like that. So in both areas, there's a lot of crossover as we look to increase diversity and inclusion within the library, within the church, because we don't want to be left behind.
Right.
In either situation. So there's a lot of crossover between, for me anyway, in my personal development, between what I do in the nonprofit or the religious circle, and then what I do in the library, which is nonprofit government type of work. So a lot of crossover.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's good. And it's funny. I did just hear I have a younger sibling, and they are considering going to that event as well. So I do know a little bit about that, as well as I have gone to that years ago. So I know what that entails, but that's great. Love how the library is, like you said, crossing over, trying to keep up with the times and all of that in the youth. Um, that's really good. Like the library is more than what we think, and I think those out there need to know that. So, you said you got a new individual in the communication department. Hopefully they can do something to get that out there, because these children need to know. And then I've stated before, I feel the closure of a lot of those things that we grew up with is leading to all that we're seeing and hearing in the news, because children have no outlets, nowhere really to go to keep them engaged. So if families knew that the library was a resource for your child to go for an after school program, or maybe, like you said, like a jam session with, for whatever reason, they definitely would take, I would hope they would take advantage of it. I know I will in the coming days, now that I know that there's all this extra stuff outside of the books. I'm definitely going to take advantage of that. And then how is it? So say like, Andrew and myself, we have this podcast. How could we utilize the library for our show? Like, are there any ways we could, like, I guess, use a space or even materials?
Sure. Like I said earlier, your library card is the key that unlocks many, many resources that you can use to enhance your podcast or enhance your business if you want to scale up or monetize. And so when you start to look at what's in the library's catalog as far as print materials or digital ebooks, or even articles. We have subscription to New York Times you access with your library card, the Daily News, the Inquirer. You don't have to pay for it to research back issues of that. So if you're looking for, subject matter, if you're looking for expertise on a subject before you present a guest, you want to have some expertise before you present the guest, so your questions would be deeper, more meaningful. The guest would be kind of shocked that you knew things, and then you can really get into what are the trends that are going on, to better enhance the experience for the audience. They have stuff about technical issues or technical equipment you can use to enhance. All of those things are available at the library. You can even have a spotlight on what are the best books for teens, or if you like Stranger Things, here are some books that you could check out that the librarians have suggested on the website. There are many things that you can use to develop or grow your audience. Marketing. I've seen books on podcasting and those sort of things, and everything from marketing to topics to everything, how to do it. And all of those resources are free. So you don't have to spend the money you would normally spend, at Amazon or anything like that. You just get the information, take what you want, leave what you don't. And
Right.
it's just there for you. The world is open to you. We've actually had people, musicians come in and they compose music based on some books they found, and they read the books and then they composed original music and then they played the music. So you never know what you come across in the library and how it can affect how you see life or how you want to present things to others. It's called lifelong learning for a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think people forget that is lifelong learning.
Mm-hmm.
I learned something. Listen, I'm past school, past college, and I learned a ton of information today just sitting here talking to you. that I kind of knew, but like just the resources that's available that like people look for. Like you just opened our eyes. I'm 36.
For sure.
You opened my eyes. I feel like a kid again. This is great. I'm going back to school.
Right.
I'm going to the library, y'all.
Yeah.
She just made the library
Yeah.
cool again. All right, but real quick, though, so how could we like even us having a podcast or just as individual citizens, how could we help the library? Like, what can we do that's everyday people from Philadelphia or around the country to help the library?
There's a few things you can do to help the library. The first thing would be to get a library card. We actually have a special edition library card. If you come into the library, we have a 50th anniversary of hip hop library card.
Oh,
and
yes,
and it has local artists, Aki and Say Brown, did a sort of a graffiti style of the word Philly, and it's
Okay.
graffiti style on a black background. And that's a special library card you can get. It's limited edition. And there's still some out there at every branch that you can get your
Oh,
library
okay.
card. So your first library card can be a 50th anniversary of hip hop library card.
That's
Y'all hear that?
cool.
Yeah,
Y'all hear
and so
that?
that's really cool, celebrating Philly and our contributions and
Yes.
proliferation of hip hop into the community, into what it is known to be today. And then on top of that, once you get your library card, you keep it in your wallet. So every time you talk up the library card, you can show people your card and talk about how easy it is to get one.
Right.
Use the electronic resources, even if it's just clicking on things and looking around and saying, "Oh, I didn't know we had that. Oh, I didn't know I had that. What's this over here?" Even just looking in there and seeing what's available. I tell you, my friend Aretha, she loves books, but she doesn't like reading.
Okay.
So she really utilizes the audiobooks.
Okay.
And I mean, she digs in and she can tell you what happened in the book just as if she read it. She just remembers it. She listens to her book while she's exercising. She listens to her book while she's in the car. She listens to books sometimes when it's slow at work or something, on her lunch break. And so she's really consuming a lot of literature where other people would say, well, I don't have time to read or anything like that. So she's really making use of that. A lot of people like this app we have called Canopy that the library pays for. It's like Netflix, but it has all those documentaries and true life things that you would never see on Netflix because it's independent. So
Nice.
if you really want to get into, if you love a good PBS, if you love a good mystery from England, if you want to see a documentary about the indigenous people in the Amazon, if you want to see some Criterion collection of Oscar winners that are just not anywhere else, short films, you go on Canopy and you can watch them for free and commercial free.
It's like bringing back Reading Rainbow, y'all.
Yes, with your library card. And so once you start to use the library and get familiar with the library, sign up for the email blast, you can start to share those things with other people in your family, in your community. And you could say, well, did you know the library? Well, they said, well, I always wanted to learn how to sew, but I went to this place and they tried to charge me $50 just to teach me how to read a pattern or something. Did you know the library has a group of people that come together? It's called So What? And they meet twice a week.
You're lying.
They meet Wednesday in the morning for the morning people, and they meet like Thursday in the evening for the evening people.
What?
And they talk about all the fiber arts. You want to crochet? We teach you. You want to knit? We teach you. You want to sew? We'll teach you how to read a pattern, use a machine. They have the sewing machines and they will teach you how to use them.
Where was this?
Yes. And so
it's not where it was there.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Listen, the crazy, you know how they say you want to hide money, put it in the book.
Put it in the library.
Yes.
And we're about to become millionaires here.
I'm telling you, and the most used libraries are in well-to-do areas because those people know the value of the library and not paying for things. They would say, why should I pay for it if it's free? It's right down the street. My tax dollars already pay for it. So why would I do it? So, just a few things. I'm just looking at a random library. Tai Chi for adults and seniors on Tuesday mornings. Wow. You don't have to go to the Y. You don't have to join a gym. They just got the Tai Chi. Come on and do it with us. They got the story times. They have like a night walk, a back night walk. Well, I don't know about that. Like,
right.
But for me. But people who are into birding or nature, they would say, well, what does that have to do with the library? Well, we have backpacks where you can get binoculars. You get a map to the park that's local to your library. So if you're going to Andorra, Chestnut Hill, Mount Airy, you're going to get a map to the Wissahickon. It's going to show you how to go to the different trails. It's going to show you what birds you might see. And you're going to get binoculars and you're going to get information about those local birds of that area. Wow. And in some of the backpacks, they have kids' binoculars. So you go out there with your little one and you say, well, let's look at these birds and see which ones we can find. Do you know what that opens up to a child?
It does. A different
to a child that has only seen pigeons or something.
Yep.
You know, get them interested in ornithology to say the world is bigger than you will ever know.
Yeah.
Right.
And here's a way that will open up this world to you that you wouldn't even think was possible. But you have to go to the library to figure it out.
Figure it out. Heard that, everybody? Y'all heard it first from the library. Y'all want to figure it out? Please go to the library.
You have to go to the library to figure it out. And there's just so many resources. And you don't just have to go to one library. You can go to any of these 49 branches and 3 regionals, and each one is different. Each one has different aspects of the programs they offer the public, the things you can do. There's so many different things that you can do around the city. And the really smart families, the really smart parents, they will expose themselves and their children to more than one library. They say, oh, we don't just go to one. We go here, we go there, we go everywhere. Everywhere is available via bus. Every person who lives in Philadelphia has a library within 2 miles of their home. Most of them are less than 2 miles. I say about 1.5 miles. So if you look in a radius, you have at least 4 or 5 different libraries around you that you can go visit, or you could take a day trip and go all the way across the city. You can go to Southwest Philly. You can go to West Philly, Northeast. So there's so many different ways to support libraries and to find out what's going on in the neighborhoods. Specifically, everything is not at Central. So it's important that these kids learn about different neighborhoods and, you know, what that branch has to offer different people. The second way you can support rather than, third, because number one is get a library card.
Right.
Use it and show people the library card. Number 2 is visit different libraries. Just walk in and be like, what's this over here? What's this? What's these flyers? What's these programs here? And just walk in and start talking to people. The third way would be if you live in a neighborhood with a library, you can join the Friends Group. The Friends Group is a 501c3 organization. They have an umbrella, and what they do is they support the staff of the library and they support the neighborhood. A lot of our Friends Group members are block captains. A lot of our Friends Group members are really involved in the community. So they can't always make every meeting because they're like, I'm meeting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have a meeting.
That's me. I got like 4 meetings a week. Trust me.
They just help when they can. But the Friends Group is important because it supports the staff. The staff give them updates. They tell them about programs. The friends of the library can fundraise, you know, outside of the library. They can raise money. They can have bake sales. They can do sidewalk sales. And with that money, they can support the library. They can hire performers. They can buy gift books for the library. They can buy, you know, a new chair for somebody. I mean, you know, they can get a story time rug. They say, this is from the Friends Group. And so Friends Groups are vital connectors we have to the community. Nice. They can tell the librarian, you know, I've noticed that a lot of Ukrainian people have moved in the neighborhood. Do we have any books in Ukrainian language in here? Because I don't see any. And then the librarian say, oh, I didn't notice. You say, yeah, right over there on 63rd Street, there's a whole community and they have the church over there. And I'm sure they would come in the library if someone welcomed them. And so that's the job of the Friends, is to keep the pulse, the pulse of the neighborhood, to say, to keep an eye on the library when you're not there. when
Right.
on Monday morning, tomorrow morning, or something like that, they say, Miss Janet, I saw some kids behind the library. I don't know what they were doing back there, but do you have a camera? Or maybe you can find, go back there and see if they did any damage or something like that. Things we would never know. We just but the community is keeping an eye on the library, and they say, what are kids doing back there? I've seen friends of the library, neighbors intervene and say the library is an important place. It's a part of us. This is our library, and we respect it, and we expect everyone else to respect it and to use it in a proper way. So in the final one, the fourth way you can support your library is, of course, you can make donations via the website. And if you want to make a general donation, that's fine. But you can also specify to a certain program or to a certain branch.
Oh, okay.
So if you say,
Didn't
I
know
really want
that.
to give, $5 to this branch, or I want to give a bigger gift, but I want it to go to something specific, you can talk to the foundation about that. If you want to leave the library in your will, if you want to do a family group gift, like our mom really loved the library and she would have wanted something in the library or something. So all of us siblings are going to get together. We're each going to put in $1,000 and we're going to give this gift to this specific library for this reason.
Wow.
It's like, we only want to give it for children's programs at this library in honor of our mom. And you can do that. People have done it. People have done it. There's a family right now that said, our mom and dad, they love the library. They would take us to the library, and we want to give all this money, and we want to go to this particular library that, and we want to make sure that they had teens have a PS5 or whatever, to play with. And they will donate that money and say, it could only go to the teens. And this is what we want to give the teens. And they'll talk to the librarian. The librarian said, well, the teens like to do this and they like to do that. They want to do Dance Revolution or something like that. So you can specify your gift, and the community will value from it, and the library will value from it. So that's the last way you can support the library.
Nice.
Wow.
So the funny part is, so we always ask our guest questions, Veronica, and the funny part is, like, I always say, like, what is something that you recently just figured out? And for me, I can't even ask you the question. I'm gonna reflect the question back to me, because we just found out, friends out there, that your library card is your access to so much success, so much information, so much knowledge, so much wealth. So please utilize it. Please use it. Do not be a stranger to it, and pass it on. Please pass it on.
Right.
So, but I mean, I ain't gonna hijack your question though. So the question for you is, like, so what's the last thing that you figured out recently?
One thing I've figured out recently is that the library has an opportunity. When you talk about a SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, and trends or threats, right? So right now the library has many opportunities to reach the age groups that have become disconnected. Because when they took libraries out of our public schools, it left a huge detriment to those adults now ages 20 to almost 40 that have not had that library in a school setting. They maybe never had time to go to the library after school. Maybe their parents never, or their caregivers never introduced them to the joy of the library. And so part of my job now is to figure out how to bring that age group back to the library, how to engage them, how to tell them about the resources, not just for children, but for someone who is between the age of 20 and 40.
Right.
What can you possibly offer me? I'm speaking for somebody. What? The library is for children. I remember going to the library and it was for kids, and it was only kids in there, or it's for old people that have.
They actually used to do the school trips to the library. You remember that?
We still have school trips.
Oh, you still have? Okay, I remember we used to go every Thursday. My class used to go. We used to get our books. We used to go to. I went to Feltonville, but we used to walk to the Wyoming branch library. Back to Feltonville, and we used to do that. I mean, we had a library in Feltonville, but just that walk to go to the library. It was awesome. We need to really bring that. Wow.
Yes. And we are hiring staff. We're engaging our staff, training them to start to welcome people back post-COVID. And I am realizing that a part of my job as doing adult programming is to engage adults and try to get them back to the library, to offer programming and resources that that middle ages can use to enhance their lives and to bring a lot of our city out of poverty. That's my personal goal. And then the library's goal is just to create engaged citizenry of Philadelphia that has literacy, that is educated in how they want to be, that is engaged, that is employed, and that can receive some joy and some information from the library. So
I got you. All right, one last thing. If you could help one famous person figure something out, who would you pick and why?
If I could help,
you're famous. Just let you know, you're famous to me right now. Just to let you know. So put it out.
If I could help one famous person figure something out and why, I would help President Biden figure out why getting rid of school loans is important for the economy.
Gotcha.
And I would work with the president and just trying to figure out a way to make that happen. So I mean, that's important as far as the economy and getting people out of this poverty, as well as to help relieve some of these bills and things that people are paying.
And President Biden, if you're listening, anybody from his team, y'all on notice right now. Y'all are on notice. But we appreciate you, Miss Veronica. Thank you so much. It was definitely a pleasure. You were awesome. Tish, please do our thing, do our taglines, get it out there, put the information out there. Friends, we're gonna make sure you guys have library info at the bottom of y'all screen. And then we want to encourage people to become future librarians. Like that's a career that evidently you can help and touch a lot of people and give them the wealth of knowledge they need and deserve. So
to work in a library, you don't have to be a librarian.
Okay.
So there are a lot of people that work in a library. There are library assistants, which are like clerical jobs. Okay. And our library assistants help to keep the library in order. They provide customer service. They provide some help with the computers. They help to mentor the young people that come in. So our library assistants are invaluable parts of the library and how it works. And they help support the library. We have municipal guards. They help to keep the library safe and clean. And our municipal guards, we're all city workers. And we have unions that protect workers. And we just love to have people work at the library. We have digital resource specialists. Somebody, when you bring in your library card, say, I heard I could do something. They come in there and they will straighten it out and show you all the good databases. And we have community initiative specialists that connect with our friends groups that are out there at those block parties that are doing the thing. And we have people downtown who work with our collections, curators, people that run the graphics team, all types of people work in the library. So
you don't gotta be a librarian. So we gotta spread all out.
And like I said, right now we're hiring after school leaders. So if you're interested in that, visit our website. And we're also hiring part-time guards, $18 an hour.
There y'all go. Y'all
Stay in there. Make sure the library is clean and safe. We're hiring right now. So if you go to our website, www.freelibrary.org, you can find out about all of those things.
We
Oh, that's
appreciate it.
awesome.
All right, friends, be
Definitely
sure
putting
to
a lot
like,
out there.
share, comment, and subscribe. You can revisit episodes of Figure It Out wherever you listen to the podcast. Our hope is that we helped you figure something out today. But until next time, friends out there, peace and love, and thank you guys.
Peace. Thank you so much. Take care,
Thank you, Miss
everybody.
Veronica. Have a good one, y'all.